In the last lecture, we learned about the basic concepts of set data structure in JavaScript. And there we learned that set is a data structure which can be used to store unique values. But it is not possible to retrieve values from a set and modify it. Then what is the use of set data structure? Well, remember that set data structure was introduced because on a set, addition, deletion, and checking the existence of an element is very fast. So whenever we want to perform these type of operations, we can use set data structure. Let's try to understand it with some examples. So let's say here I have an array, and in this array I have some duplicate values. Now what I want is I want to create a new array from this existing array where I don't want to have the duplicate values. I want to have unique values from this ARR array. For that we can use sets. So here we have an existing array, and from this existing array we want to create a new array where we only want to have the unique values from the existing array. So for that, first what we will do is let's create a variable. Let's call it ARR set. You can name this variable anything. And now I'm going to create a new set using this new set constructor. And to this, I'm going to pass this ARR array. Now we have learned that when we pass an iterable to this set constructor, from that iterable, this set constructor will create a new set. And in that set, it is only going to keep the unique values. So if I go ahead and if I log this ARR set, if I save the changes, you will see that in this set, we only have unique values. We do not have any duplicate value. And now we can convert this set into an array. And to do that, all we have to do is we can wrap this new set constructor within square brackets like this. So this here, it is going to return us a new set. I'm wrapping it within parentheses. This expression here, it is going to return us a new set, basically this set. On that, if I use spread operator, the spread operator will extract all the elements from this set, and then all those elements will become an element of this array which we are creating here. So now if I save the changes, you will see that now this ARR set, it is logging an array, and in that array we have all the unique elements. So in this way, from an existing array, we created a new array, and in that new array, we have all the unique values. And we filtered all the unique values by using a set. Now, if this code is confusing for you, what I'll do is I'll move these steps into separate lines. So here we are creating a set using this new set constructor. Now I'll create another variable and I'll call it as unique ARR. Okay, and from this ARR set, I want to extract all its elements. So here I'm again going to use square brackets. In that, I'm going to use the spread operator on this ARR set. So from the ARR set, we are going to extract all the elements, and those elements will be extracted and they will become a part of this outer array. If I save the changes, we should still have the same result. Okay, here we are logging ARR set. So the set has been logged where we have unique elements. And from that set, we have created a new array, which we are storing in this unique array. If I log this unique array, and if I save the changes, you will see that now we have an array where we have only unique values. So this is one use case where we can use set. And this approach of removing duplicate elements from an array is faster and easier. Then checking if an element exists in an iterable or not, that is also faster with sets. So for example, in this ARR array, we want to check if element 7 exists in this ARR array or not. So for that, what we are doing is, let me comment these two lines. So what we are doing here is we are creating a set from that array, and on that set, on this ARR set, we simply need to call the has method, and there we need to pass the element for which we want to check if it exists in that array or not. So from this array, we have created a set In that set, we will have all the unique values, and in there we want to check if this element 7 presents in that set or not. And if it returns true, that means that that element is present in that set. So in this case, it is returning true. So that means this element 7 is present in this set. And since this set is created using this ARR array, that means that element is also present in that array. But if I pass an element like 11 and if I save the changes, here it has returned false. That means this 11 is not present in this ARR set. And since this ARR set was created using this ARR array, that means 11 is not present in that array also. Now, if you directly want to check if an element presents on an array or not, you can also use includes method. But has method is faster than includes method. So for example, let me write another console.log statement. And there on the array, on the ARR array, I can use includes method. Okay, and to that, I can pass the element which I want to check whether it exists in that array or not. So if I save the changes, this includes method is returning us true. That means this element 7 is present in this ARR array. But this has method which we are using on this set, it is faster than this includes method. So here we can use sets for checking the existence of an element. Now let's take another example. So here I'm going to create two more arrays, maybe ARR1, where we have three elements, 1, 2, and 3. And then I have another array called ARR2, where again I have three elements, 3, 4, and 5. Now what I want is, I want to combine these two arrays and create a new array where I only have unique values. So currently, if I create another variable, let's call it unique. And in this unique variable, I want to store an array where we have elements from ARR1 and ARR2. So here also, I'm going to use spread operator. First of all, I'm using this square bracket, and then I'm going to use spread operator on ARR1 and ARR2. Okay, now let me go ahead and let me log this unique array. And my requirement is, in this unique array, we should have all the unique values from ARR1 and ARR2. Let me comment this code, and let me also comment these two console.log statements. Okay, so if I save the changes, you will see that an array has been logged. And here also I need to use the spread operator on the ARR2. So if I save the changes now, you will see that an array has been logged, but in that array, I have a duplicate value. Since this 3 is present in both ARR1 and ARR2, when we have created a new array from these two arrays, that element 3 is coming twice. But here I only want to have unique elements. So here what we can do is, here again we can use new set constructor, and to that we can pass this expression. And now here we will have this array, and from that array this set constructor is going to create a new array where we will have only unique values. So if I save the changes now you will see that we have an array. We have a set where we have only unique values from that array. And now again, we can convert this set back to an array. So for that, what I can do, I can wrap it within square brackets like this. And then this new set, it is going to return us this set. And since its set is an iterable, we can use spread operator on the set like this. And what it will do, it will extract all the elements from that set, and those elements will now become an element of this outer array. So now if I save the changes, it should log an array where we have all the unique values from ARR1 and ARR2. Here what we are doing is, here we are performing union operation on these two arrays. Union operation means that when we are combining these two arrays, we have all the values from both the arrays, and we also do not have a duplicate value. Now, if you want to perform intersection, that means when combining these two arrays, if you want to have only those elements which is present in both the arrays, that is called as intersection. So that is also possible. So let me create another variable. Let's call it as intersect. Now to perform the intersection, what we can do is first let's create a set. So here I'm going to create a variable. For now, let me simply call it as X. And what we are going to do is we are going to call filter method on this ARR1. Okay, to this filter method, we are going to pass a callback function. And for each iteration, that callback function is going to receive the element from this ARR1 array. And for each iteration, what do we want to do is here we want to check if ARR2 has that element. And for that, again, first I'm going to convert ARR2 to a set by passing it to this set constructor. And on that, I'm going to call this has method. And to that, let's pass X. So here, let me call it as maybe filtered, or here only, let's call it as intersect. Let me remove this. So what this filter method will return in this case? It will return an array, and in that array we will have those elements, and here it should be ARR2. And in that filtered array we will have those elements which is present in both ARR1 and ARR2, and that condition we are checking here. So from the ARR1, for each iteration we are going to receive an element in this X variable. We are checking if that X is present in that ARR2 or not. And to check that, first we have converted this ARR2 to a set, and on that set we are calling the has method. So let me go ahead and let me log this intersect, and if I save the changes, you will see that here it has returned us an array where we have only one element. So out of these two arrays, only 3 is common in both the arrays. If I pass 3, 4 here, and if I save the changes, now it has 3 and 4. So all the common elements in both the arrays, with those common elements, an array has been created. So in this way, we can also get the intersection between the two arrays. Now, if you want to get the difference between ARR1 and ARR2, so for example, let's say the difference between ARR1 and ARR2 will be the elements which is not present in ARR2. So for example, in ARR1 we have 1, 2 and 3. Now this 3 is also present in ARR2. So the resulting array will be an array with elements only 1 and 2. It should not have 3 because 3 is also present in ARR2. So to get that difference, we can write similar type of logic. So here I'll call it as difference, and here I'll use not operator. Okay, so let me first wrap it within parenthesis like this complete expression, and on that we are going to use not operator. And here let's go ahead and let's log difference. If I save the changes, you see it has returned us an array where we only have 1 and 2. So from ARR1, only 1 and 2 has been filtered. 3 is not filtered because 3 is also present in ARR2. So this type of operation, these mathematical operations, we can perform on two arrays by using a set. Okay, so this is another use case of using a set. Another very important use case where we can use a set is when we want to delete elements. Now, when we want to delete element from an array, first we need to get the index of the element which we want to delete, and using that index, we can call the splice method. We can pass that index to the splice method, and from there we can delete the element from the array. So this is a very lengthy process. But using sets, we can simply delete the element which we want. So for example, in this ARR array, let's say I want to delete this element 5. Let me comment all this code. So what I'll do is, first we will convert this array to a set. So for that, I'm going to create a variable. Let's call it new set, or maybe my set. And to create a set, we use new set constructor. And to that, we can pass that array. So here it is going to return us a set. On that set, I can call delete method to delete any element. Here I want to delete this element 5. So I can pass that. Okay. And one more thing you need to remember here is this set will also remove the duplicate values from the array. Okay. So whatever set will be created there, we will not have the duplicate values which we have in this array. And then from there 5 will be deleted. So now after deleting this element 5 from this set, if we convert it back to the array, there we will not have duplicate values. So that is important to understand. But here deleting the element from a set is faster than deleting the element from the array. So let me log the set before we have deleted the element. So here I'm going to log my set, and let's also log it after we have deleted the element. And if I save the changes, you see before deleting the element, we have 7 elements in this set. And after deleting the element, we have only 6 elements here. All right, in this set, we also have this value 5, but in this set, we do not have that value. So deleting elements from a set is faster than deleting elements from an array, and it is simple. So these are some of the use cases where we can use a set and where we would like to convert an iterable to a set first before performing any operation. So I hope now you understand what is a set and how you can use it in your project. Now, since a set is also an iterable, we can also loop over a set, and there are different ways in which we can loop over a set, and that we will learn in our next lecture. This is all from this lecture. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.